What's going on? It's Stokely from Sauce on Dulé. Oh my goodness. Hey man, we gotta chase away negative thoughts, destructive thoughts. Let me see if I can come back to that thought when I'm done saying what I'm gonna say next, because I'm jumping over to another thought. So there's a guy that I watch on the internet, on YouTube. Name is Antoine. What's his name? Antoine. I forgot what his last name is. Antoine Daniels. So he has multiple platforms. He had multiple shows, podcasts, whatever, vlogs that you could call it, on YouTube. But the one that I watch is called The Millionaire Morning Show. And it's barely morning, because the show doesn't start till about 11:35. So I listen to him while I'm doing my work, because I don't know, I must have ADD a little bit. I can't really engage with one part of work unless I'm using my hands to make something, to fashion something. If I'm using my hands to make something, I can probably fully concentrate on that thing. But if I'm just doing a keyboard type thing, then I usually need some ancillary entertainment, some noise, something going on to stimulate the other parts of my brain, because I've watched too much TV and played too many video games. Reading books now, that allows you to laser focus, because you're not hearing noise at the same time. Anyway, Antoine Daniels played a video, and he's just freestyling. He's talking off the cuff for the most part, I guess. For the most part, some of the things he says I agree with. Many of the things he says I agree with. Like associate with the right people. Manage your money. Live within your means. Stay down. When he says stay down, means save your money and ration everything until you're in a position where you can splurge. Basically whatever. Because right now he owns Porsches and stuff like that, and Rolex watches and stuff like that. Well, Rolex watches are kind of appreciate in value, but so he's not really losing anything on the Rolexes. But he played a clip of two politicians in basically at a security checkpoint. The two men are having a discussion, probably an argument. One of them does what we call a mushes him in his face, puts his finger in the man's face, and then the man who was assaulted now goes after the man, and what happens is the police get involved, and I guess the police press charges on both men, and the men later on decide to drop the charges against each other. One of the men is a millionaire investor, of some real estate investor. So Antoine Daniels, you know what? He's like I'm saying, he says he never misses, which means that he's always right about what he says, which I can respect that. He's right many times. I'm not trying to take anything away from him. But he said in this instance, the man that was assaulted first should not have retaliated. Now, the time in which he retaliated was less than 1.5 of a second. It's about 1.5 seconds he went after the guy. After he got mushed in his face, he responded within about 1.5 seconds, which is a very long time, kind of relatively. And Antoine Daniels was saying that guy who was the victim should not have behaved in that way. Well, I disagree. Even some of the most docile people in a situation like that, in close quarters, where not only are they embarrassed not only are they physically assaulted, but like the man touched him, and they says that his cornea has been scratched, his cornea has been damaged, so part of his eye was damaged when the guy mushed him in his face. And and then additionally, he was embarrassed in front of, there was about 3 other men there 2 security guards and 1 other politician. So during the whole fracas, not only are you physically assaulting him, but you're also embarrassing him. So you're assaulting him physically, you're assaulting him emotionally, and you're assaulting him socially, and you're assaulting him his ego. So in that situation where you're being attacked psychologically, it's a psychological and physical attack. It's hard to say that he should not have responded that way. The other day I was in my backyard just trying to do a little spring cleaning. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I just ate. I should have done some. I want to do some more spring cleaning tomorrow, but it's gonna be raining. So when he responded, I think anybody in that situation, well, most likely men in that, anybody in that situation would have responded similarly if they felt like they were evenly matched or they had a good chance, or even if they don't think they have a good chance. If you embarrass them enough, they will retaliate in a way that you would not even expect. So, because he mushed them, grown men, they're about 40 something years old, maybe 50 years old, and a man mushes you in front of 3 other strangers or 3 people who are acquaintances of you. Whether they're strangers or acquaintances, it don't matter. Me, I always say that I'm a coward, but I don't like to, and I'm trying to be brave. So that's what I'm going to say. I'm trying to be brave. Me, I would have maybe I would have took the mush. Maybe, I don't know. But if we're evenly matched, I think I can take him. I probably wouldn't. Maybe I would not have taken the mush. I would not have taken it. I don't think I would. I don't know. I would have retaliated just like that guy, and I'm one of the most docile, cowardice people that I know. So I don't see how Antoine can legitimately claim that that man should not have retaliated. And additionally, one of his commenters during the live video, and he read the comment, said to him, listen, why did you advise that this man not retaliate that way when you had an altercation with your own nephew? And then he made some invalid excuse as to why that's different when he's fighting with his nephew versus fighting with his with a coworker that just pushed him in his face. I don't know the circumstances under which he had to fight with his nephew. Anyhow, it's not good to have physical altercations. There's worse things that could happen anyway. You know what I mean? People can get into fights and somebody passes away. I was just reading an article today about a contractor. He has a company that's in Queens, New York, in Maspeth, Queens. So the contractor, he had a business partner at one point, and him and his business partner had a falling out, whatever, so they part ways. But they're suing each other. And the businessman, the first guy that I'm talking about, eventually tried to threaten the man and put a bomb in front of the man's house, which exploded, but nobody got hurt, thank God. And they did it to, basically send him a warning to scare him. Now, the gentleman who planted the bomb, when the police went to his house, found a cache of weapons, bulletproof vests, shotguns, and books on building incendiaries and bombs and stuff like that. So this man is a very dangerous man. I looked up his house. I looked up his address. He had a nice house in New Jersey, worth almost $1.6 million. Probably at the end of a very tree-lined cul-de-sac. Very nice, manicured lawn. Nice house. And as a result of this, now his family's gonna have to suffer because him and his buddy decided that it was a good idea to threaten the man in order to get him to drop his lawsuit. Right? So now not only was he arrested by New Jersey police and handed over to New York State police, he's also facing the FBI investigating him. So, you know, and the FBI, I guess, gets involved because he crossed state lines in order to commit whatever a crime he committed. But, so why do I mention those situations? Now, in the close quarter situation of the first man, it wasn't premeditated. He just was offended and he pounced. Not saying that's necessarily the best response sometimes. It's not the best response, yes, but you can understand the situation. Most people would have responded. It doesn't matter if it's a dog, a cat, a human, a bird. You know, if they feel relatively evenly matched or embarrassed, they're going to tear you. They're going to try to get at you. So now the second man now, the contractor guy, the construction company owner guy, he had a long time to think about it. Not only did he purchase a book on creating incendiaries, build incendiaries, involve his friend, his room, well, not even his roommate, but the guy that lived in his house, one of his relatives, I guess, maybe, and also purchased a burner phone in order to send the man a text message after the bomb exploded. After the bomb exploded, he sent the man a text message saying, don't show up to the next court case. This is a warning. And that's the only time he used the phone. So he spent, I don't know, he bought a SIM card from Mint or Boost or whatever. He bought a prepaid phone, Verizon. I don't know who's the Verizon Verizon owns, I don't know. Anyhow, so he did all that. Probably the same day the police showed up at his house. Easily. Anyhow, oh, I forgot to mention, the box that he put the explosive in had his own address on it. So he didn't even, anyhow, whatever, man. It was premeditated still. And he now has jeopardized, not only jeopardized, he has lost his freedom due to his anger. Why am I saying all of this? Why am I saying all of this is, you can't let the vampires in. You can't let the devil in. You can't let the bad thoughts in, the bad ideas in. You don't want to let the thoughts in that take you out of your character, take you, into a place where you're facing, I don't know, condemnation and correction and I don't know, incarceration. Not or even, when the bad thoughts come, we gotta find a way. And I'm not saying that I've found a way myself, but when the bad thoughts come, because sometimes you're offended, you lash out immediately without even thinking, because sometimes you're already on edge. You're already on edge. You're already pre-stressed. You're already primed. You're already have a, I don't know, propensity, not a propensity, but you're ready to be triggered. You're ready to be triggered. It's just a trigger. Like, you're already loaded up. So when they say triggered, that means you already got something going on with you, and triggering you just releases everything. Boom. So we can't let, for the best interest, for the longevity, for the sustainability of our lives, can't let things trigger us. We gotta have a long game, sustainable perspective on things. But understandably, like I said, the first guy, anybody would have responded, knee-jerk reaction like that, 1.5 seconds, But the other guy, he had probably he had days for that book from Amazon to show up, or wherever he got that book on explosive. He had days to amass the fireworks from wherever he went, maybe Pennsylvania, who knows, certificate. He had days to go fill up the gas can. He had time to go find his old business partner's address and his phone number. He had time to go buy the burner phone to send him the threat. Not only that, he drove all the way from New Jersey to upstate, not upstate. He drove all the way from New Jersey to somewhere in the Hudson Valley of New York, which is not too far from the city. So he had a lot of time to contemplate, but he let the bad, evil, angry thoughts overcome him and overthrow him, as the Hebrew Israelite guy says. He let the negative thoughts overthrow him. And he just gave into it, and it took him where it wanted to take him. It took him all the way from $1.6 million house, a business in Maspeth doing HVAC, which is guaranteed money. It's like minting money. Living a certain lifestyle probably that he want to live. And it took him all the way down to zero. Now he's in jail. His buddy is in jail. They're both going to be facing some time. The $4 million the guy was suing him for, that judgment is still going to be carried out. Addition to that, he's going to owe the government some time in jail. So he won't be out for a while. He's going to miss out on things. I mean, FOMO is like something that we shouldn't really sweat too much, but it is real. You know, he did so much to build his company. You know how hard it is to start a business, especially in New York, with so many taxes and regulations and fees and fines, and you got to go to the accountant, you got to whatever. So it's pretty stressful to run a business. And he lost his head, and he let the evil spirits take over his body and take over his mind, and also occupy the mind of his friend, which is unfortunate, because he didn't even come out of the car himself when he put the bomb on the guy's stoop. He sent his friend to go do it. So don't let the negative thoughts, the evil thoughts come in. When they come in, people say, you should say, "Get thee behind me, Satan." Or you say the rosary, or you say Jesus, or you say God's name, Or Peter Tosh you say Bomba Clot. Peter Tosh was superstitious. He believed that if he says that word, it drives away the wicked, But, it wasn't able to save him ultimately at the end. But anyhow, try to flee from evil, control yourself. I mean, I'm still working on it myself, so I can't even say that I've overcome it or I'm doing any better. But yeah, thanks for listening.